Hello, I'm Ida Dortonks. I'm a licensed Florida realtor, and I wanted to make a video of frequently asked questions. I get the same questions over and over again from clients, family members, neighbors, and I thought let me put a video together and see if I can answer some of those questions, and hopefully I can make the home buying process a little bit more a little simpler and less overwhelming. There are many aspects of buying a home, so I won't get into every aspect, but I may mention some, and maybe I'll do some videos on those later on. Well, today this video is specifically for the home buying process. So if you are about to decide to buy a home, if you're on the fence of buying a home, you're not sure what to do, what's my first step, what is involved, it's overwhelming, this is a video hopefully that can help answer some of those questions. And if you're already in the process of home buying, maybe I can bring about some things that you didn't know and might help you, and you can reach out to your realtor for further information. Of course, if you don't have a realtor, feel free to inbox me, message me. I'll have my contact information at the end of the video, and I can answer any questions, and even if you're not ready right now to purchase a home. Well, let me start with the basic and the first step, and it's not really the easiest step, but the first step is after you make the decision that you want to move, that you either need to move, your family is growing, you need a bigger home, whether you're buying for the first time or this is going to be your second or third house. The first thing that you need to establish is your savings. Do you have enough savings needed to purchase a house? Do you have a plan to start saving, or are you saving enough? And that all depends. How big your house you want, what county you want to live in. There's some counties that the medium home prices are a little bit higher. Sometimes when the school district grade average is higher, then the prices of homes tend to be higher. So there's a lot of factors, but the basic thing is you need to save money. Why do you need to save money? A lot of people think, okay, well, I'm not sure how much I need to save. And like I said, it just depends on the price of the house. And the price of the house depends on where you're going to go live and how big the house that you need, what your requirements are. But once you start saving, you have to, set some goals so that you know that you're saving. And from this point on, maybe 6 months or a year, you're going to start looking for a home. Now, when you save, it's very important to make sure that the money that you're saving is in your bank account, either in some kind of financial institution account that you can show the lender, whoever that lender may be, when the time comes that you have those funds and that you were saving them. And it could be in a savings account, it could be in your checking account, it could be in some other type of fund. Basically, you don't want the money to just be in your house in a safe, or cash in a safe deposit box, or under your mattress, because the lenders are going to want to know that you were indeed saving it, that money is legitimately yours. And that's just one of the things that come up. And some people say, well, yes, I have 5,000, and then it's because a family member gave it to them. Well, that's fine, but we have to put it up front and let the lender know this was a gift money, and there's certain things that need to be done to provide information of where that gift money came from. But the first step, I would say, is to save money. And if you've already think you've saved enough, then let's see how much that savings is and what that savings can get you. The second step is to figure out who's going to lend you the money, because on very small cases do you have 100% of the money. So if you're looking at a $200,000 house, not very many people have $200,000 in the bank and they're going to pay cash. There are a few that do. There's a lot of investors that do that, but for the average person like you and me, you probably don't. You need a lender to provide you with a mortgage, and that is a process, and that's just depends again on where you go. Certain lenders do different things, or they offer different programs. I highly recommend you go into a mortgage broker, because they can price around, they can look around to get you the best fit for your level of income, for your interest rate, depending on your credit. So there's a lot of things that a mortgage broker can give you that maybe a financial institution like a bank may not. And I'm not saying not to go to your bank. If you're comfortable going to your bank, by all means, go and ask them, what can I afford? How is my credit? So when you go, what happens when you go to one of these? Let's just take the example of going to a mortgage broker. Well, what you do is, I can very well recommend you a few, and you pick them, and what you do is you call them up on the phone, set up an appointment. Sometimes you can just do it over the phone. And initially what they will do is they will pull a credit, because they have to see what your credit score is, what's in there, and they'll take the credit score, and it gives you a number, which is your credit score number, and depending on that, they'll see what you qualify for. If you can buy a house, is your credit excellent, is your credit so-so, maybe you can't afford to get a house right now based on the credit score. Unfortunately, you might be able to afford it, but your credit score is not as high as it needs to be, and they can work with you in trying to guide you into what you need to do to improve your credit score. So hopefully maybe in 6 months or in a year you can start this over and start. But basically you still have your savings, which you have to do anyway, and it's good. The second step, which is going to a mortgage broker and checking your credit and making sure if something goes wrong at that point, that's fine. Don't get discouraged. They can tell you what you need to do, and you could just follow that, and you'll just be a little bit more closer to home ownership. And another thing to do is when you go to the mortgage broker, let's say they're like, okay, great, everything looks good. We checked your credit. This is your credit score. Then they'll provide you with a pre-qualify you. And they provide you with a pre-qualification letter, which just states, Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so, or Mr. So-and-so, Mrs. So-and-so, are approved for, I'm just going to throw this number out there, $200,000 home. And it's a good thing, some of them don't do this, to tell you what the payments are. Because sometimes we focus on, okay, I can afford a $200,000 home, let me go find a $200,000 home. Well, hold on, because that loan may include other items that can put you maybe over the limit. And I'm not going to go in detail to these, but I do want to be aware, because I've had clients that didn't understand why they couldn't get a $200,000 home. Well, the payment for that includes your insurance. So there's some PMI insurance if you were to get a loan that requires that insurance. There's also taxes. There's also home ownership, home insurance for things like, to help you, protect you against hurricane damage or fire, or anything like that. You need that, and the lender's going to require that. Also, something that you may encounter is the community that you want to move in has an HOA, a homeowners association, and those require dues. Some of them, can be $200 a year. Some of them are, $400 a year, but some can be a couple of $100s a month, and that can really change your qualification. So make sure that you have a realtor that's knowledgeable and that can tell you which neighborhoods they can investigate. Okay, where do you want to go? We know what you can afford now, and make sure that they are aware of these and can present them to you. So anyway, you will get a letter, and that will show how much you can purchase the home, how much you're going to be loaned the home, and then you can do your research. And at this point, I highly recommend sitting down with a realtor and saying, okay, I need a 3-bedroom home with 2 baths, or I need a 5-bedroom home. A pool is a must-have, or a big yard is a must-have. And along the way, you may need to sacrifice some of these things depending on the cost of where you want to live. But we have a lot of tools that we can look and filter and pinpoint. There's not a lot of inventory right now, so it's a very particular market. There's a little over 8,000 homes for sale in the area, in Central Florida and surrounding areas, and that's not a lot. There used to be a time that there was like 30,000, 20,000. So there's a lot of competition with buyers. The fun part is when you go find a home, and you can go on your own. That's fine. You can go to open houses, you can go to new model homes, and search the area, and I highly recommend that. But I do recommend having a realtor that's knowledgeable, that's there for you, that not only sends you out there alone, but that goes with you and gives you that guidance that you need, because a lot of things happen. You want somebody that's on your team, that's fighting for you. And if you're going to go against by yourself with a listing realtor, the seller's realtor, you may not know what you're getting into. So just be wary of that. Be very careful. You want to make sure that this is the most expensive purchase that you will probably ever make, and one of the most important ones. And you wouldn't want to be in a contract that you didn't realize you were getting into. So we're here to make sure that doesn't happen, to make sure that we review everything, that if there's something that doesn't look right, we're going to raise our hands and say, hold on a second, that's not right. Or did you know that you could have asked for this in lieu of that, and maybe gotten more money in your pocket? So I highly recommend that. And then let's say you get a realtor and you're comfortable with them, you go see 15 houses, and you love one, you're ready to put in the offer. You pre-read that contract, so when they send it to you, you're good to go. You sign the offer, and it gets accepted. That's great. So that's the next step, is you put in the offer. Now, what does that require? What does that mean? Well, that means that you're signing a contract, and your realtor makes that contract. You sign it for that specific house, and you put in whatever you want to offer. Maybe let's just say you offered $200,000, the house was listed at $210,000, and you need to put escrow money or a deposit, and that's just saying, hey, I'm serious about buying this house, so here's $1,000. That can range from $1,000 to $5,000. It just depends on the total cost of the home. So more expensive homes require more of an escrow or deposit. But you put in that money, that gets into a separate account. It's held. It doesn't go to the seller's pocket yet. Even when they accept the offer, it doesn't go to their pocket. It's just kind of a good faith that you really are serious about getting the home. So at that point, the next step is to get the inspection of the property, and what you would want to do it, and I highly recommend it, is because even if the house looks beautiful and well maintained, you still want to check things like the AC, the electrical, the plumbing, the roof, and things like that. So it's really important to do that, and you have to be ready that can cost anywhere from $300 to $500, $600. It just depends on the area that you're in. So I can't tell you exactly how much it's going to cost, but you need to have that in reserve. So you need to have that escrow money, deposit money readily available, and you need to have your inspection money as well. And then after you do that, the lender will set up an appraisal. In the background, they're doing their due diligence on your loan and your application, and you will expect to go back and forth, expect to give them paperwork like bank statements and your pay stubs, things like that. But they're the experts on that side, so they can help you understand what you need to bring to the table and what you need to have. But they'll do that. It was 45 days till not long ago. Our contracts changed recently, so now we're back down to 30 days. But give it like about 30 days from start to finish once the offer's accepted, for all the loan and paperwork to be done, and then they'll set up the closing, and that's when you get the keys to your brand new home. So I hope that this video shed some light into the process. Let me know if you liked it, and I will try to continue more from questions that I've gotten. Like I said, buying a home is a great, home ownership is a great thing. It's really an accomplishment for someone to have that, and I really think that you need to be in good hands and somebody that can guide you and that's knowledgeable, because you just you want to live in a home that you feel good about and that you are happy, because that's what we're all looking for. So thank you for joining me. Again, my name is Ida Dortons. I am a licensed realtor. I focus in Central Florida and surrounding areas. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. email me, call